the Lions' storylines as they get ready for training camp. I think there's really only two positions that are up for grabs. And I use two positions as the interior line is a question, and then the backup quarterback. You know, if it's Kyle Allen, Hendon Hooker, I'm not sure which. I don't know how much I care. I don't care until they actually have to play. I don't think there are many good backup quarterbacks in the league. I don't think there's that many good quarterbacks, period, in the world, right? I mean, I don't know how many teams carry three, but if you've got 30 teams, 32 teams, whatever the case may be, and you're going two, you're looking for roughly 46 quarterbacks. Yeah. I don't think there are that many good quarterbacks in the world. So I'm not sure how much I care about the backup until I have to care about the backup. So outside the interior, I think that's what gives me such great hope for the Lions this year, is more than just their resume, but they are solidified in just about every position outside of two guards and center.
Yeah, and I got the I have the 5 unresolved questions as well for the Detroit Lions as they enter training camp. So got it ready to go.
5 questions in terms of what the Detroit News wrote. Is that what you're suggesting?
The Athletic.
Oh, the Athletic.
Yeah.
Okay.
A couple of the things you mentioned is on there as well. Obviously, the two centers. That was actually the very first thing that they brought up. It was, the assistants. The 2 assistants was actually the first thing that they brought up. Can the assistants pick up where their predecessors left off? It's common knowledge at this point that Coach Dan Campbell's staff was raided this offseason. His offensive and defensive coordinators and our head coaches, several assistants were poached, and the continuity the Lions boasted a year ago is now no more.
Yeah, tell me something we don't know. I'm talking more about position players for this team. You know, the five questions in that regard.
Yeah, I pretty much think it's on the offensive line trying to figure out what happens in terms of being the start of that situation. I think you already pretty much at every position, you got your guys.
Yeah.
You know, you got the guys that are going to start. I think it's interesting to see what's going to happen with the number 2 DB. Like, I understand Terry Arnold. We talked about him a little bit. He's the guy that, this should be a bounce-back year for him, but – what if it looks like it does next year? I mean, what if it looks like it does last year? How'd that play in training camp? Amik Robertson as well as Ennis Rakestraw. What does that look like?
Robertson was so good against Jefferson.
100%. A lot of people still believe if he doesn't get injured, blah, 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 insert what you want. Yeah. Also, that linebacker spot. Like, linebacker's an interesting position. I know who's starting, but are you confident with your linebacker core? That's really the big tooth for me.
When you go into training camp, I've always felt this. Of the 53-man roster, you probably know 48 guys before you even open the doors to Allen Park. How many would you say the coaching staff already knows? Check, he's on this team. In other words, 5 spots.
I
got
got you. Of 53, I think they're 40. They're 47 strong.
47.
Oh, that's wild.
They're 47 strong.
Yeah. Think about it.
Yeah.
The 4 of us could do that right now, pretty confidently on who's making the team. There's always a surprise, right? Sure.
Yeah, because it's always like a random running back. It's always like a random extra tight end.
Linebacker.
It's going to be a couple DBs and, like you said, linebacker,
Yeah. Guys who can play special teams. Yeah. Guys who, other guys you might want to hide on your practice squad. Right?
And it's about what do you want to carry more of in a particular year. Right. This year, based on what happened last year, I guarantee they carry more defensive linemen as well as look at the offensive line. We're trying to figure out what rotation is going to work for the Detroit Lions, replacing Zeiler as well as Frank Ragnow. So I think they'll carry more offensive line and more defensive line in the beginning of the season.
You knew that going in. Look, your first year as a third overall pick, you've made the team. You don't have to worry about that, right? What was the sense of guys who, are coming in as late round draft picks or undrafted free agents and trying to make an impression with the very minimal snaps during camp?
It's tough, man. And you almost you look at their mental and you can see it. Like every day,
you can feel that.
They're antsy. They're looking at their plays. They're making sure they know what they know. They're coming up to you. The person that I know this guy's going to be on the team. I know he's making the team. Hey, man, how did my route look? What do you think about this? Coach said this, right? He said it was 18 yards, not 16 yards. Dang, did they say anything when I got jammed up at the line of scrimmage? What did they say when I caught that touchdown? They're just coming to you with everything because every moment is it sucks. Every moment is a make-or-break play for a guy that's at the end of the roster. Every moment, you drop that pass, It sucks. One play. Well, you know what? We got to get him out of here because I only saw him on 2 plays. And of the 2 plays that he had in a week's worth of practice, he dropped one. You feel bad for him.
That's almost uncomfortable for you. You're like watching. You go, "Oh, that poor bastard. He just ran the wrong route."
Until you get put in that situation. Like the first time that happened to me, I started the whole time I was with the Jets, the whole time I was with the Browns, the 49ers. When I first got there, I started that year, tore my meniscus, came back, still played as a starter before I was eventually cut. Going into the first year with the Seahawks was the first time we're going into camp 2012. I didn't know if I was going to make the team because I was a last-minute addition. They picked me up before, like, the day after camp started. They added me and Terrell Owens. Made it over T.O. That's a crazy stat line. But it was different because then I start having that same conversation, that same feeling. So now I'm making sure that my ankles are right. Now I'm getting more ice. Now I'm in the hot tub. Now I'm watching more film. Now I'm asking, hey, coach, how was my depth on that? And I remember, I said, oh, man, this is what it feels like to be on that side. So that day can't come for anybody. No matter where you were drafted, you can go to the point where I may not make the team. I may get cut before the season. I did, actually.
CBS Sports came out with the best trios in football.
Yeah.
The best, it could be quarterback, running back, wide receiver. It could be quarterback, running back, tight end. But it's that combo, all right? Detroit, as you see here, is ranked 4th.
Yeah.
Who do you think's ahead of them, and how much do you think the 4 ranking is legit?
All right, let's start with the first question you asked me. Eagles are ahead of them. Philadelphia Eagles will be ahead. Saquon, AJ, and Jalen. Burrow will be ahead. Burrow, I can't think of the running back's name.
Chase Brown.
Chase Brown. And obviously Chase, and Cincy. Lamar Jackson will be ahead of them because Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, and he got hurt. Zay Flowers.
You're right. Those are the 3 ahead of them.
Yeah.
And that's why his name's on the show, ladies and gentlemen.
So you nailed it.
Yeah.
Number 1 is Cincinnati. Number 2 is Philadelphia.
He knows some about receivers.
Number 3 is Baltimore.
Yes.
Are you okay with Detroit being 4th?
Yeah. Because I think if you look at it, if you change this, like, it could be different. You just like 2 wide receivers and a quarterback, you can add some other teams to it. But yeah, if you want to give us 4 for that, yeah, because you're going quarterback versus quarterback, running back versus running back, and receiver versus receiver.
Yeah, for me, I think Detroit should be higher. And I don't say this as a fan.
Right.
Okay. I think Joe Burrow is better than Jared Goff. I think Jamar Chase is better than Amon-Ra St. Brown, but I think Jahmyr Gibbs is a lot better than Chase Brown. So I think you, for Detroit, I think you have a top 10 quarterback, you have a top 10 wideout, you have a top 5. You know, make the argument you could have a top 5 wide receiver and a top 5 running back and a top 10 Q.
I think Jahmyr Gibbs is the one. I think he's the ceiling raiser for the Detroit Lions, especially on this
that's
list.
why I'd put Philadelphia.
He's the one.
I'd put Philadelphia 1, to be honest with you. I'd probably put Detroit 2.
I'd be careful with that. And the reason why I'd be careful with that is the gap between Joe Burrow
and Jared Goff. And
this is no disrespect to Jared Goff. I feel like this about everybody.
Yeah.
The gap with Joe Burrow does this in Cincinnati. Like, Joe Burrow has done this game in Cincinnati where it's windy, the weather's ugly, they don't want to protect him. He's done this for the last 5 years, and he's been to the Super Bowl. The gap between him and Jared Goff
is bigger than the gap between Jahmyr Gibbs and Chase Brown.
Exactly.
Okay.
So you do that math, and then Chase is the best receiver in the league, and that's no knock to that. So that's my ranking. It's just because of how high I feel on Joe Burrow, and then how high you feel on Jamar Chase too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. You guys okay with it, Ricky?
Lamar would be
I'm not mad at this.
You're not mad at the 4. Okay.
No, I'm not.
If you wanted to say Lamar, now if you want to say Baltimore, if somebody wanted to move Baltimore, I wouldn't have a problem with it because the Ravens, they don't know when to use Derrick Henry in big moments. Like, they get these moments where they don't use him the correct way. And if you're trying to tell me Zay Flowers, who's injured and coming back, and you're hoping that he can do what you saw him kind of do, Lamar Jackson has moments where you're like, So looking at Baltimore, I can move Baltimore underneath the Lions.
Okay.
Yeah, and for me, I'm not mad at this either. This is first world problems for the Lions now. You're seeing them pop up in every every list that there can be. And I think that for them, especially when they chew up, eat up, and use as fuel, this type of stuff as bulletin board material, I love it for the Lions at least. They look at everything, and Amon-Ra kind of, he put that out there in his podcast, put that out there in the press conferences and such that, yeah, I want everything that I can, even if it's the Pro Bowl, which a lot of people say is just the popularity contest. I like the fact that this stuff, they found a way to utilize this as further motivation. But they're not even, I don't even think they're being disrespected, though. I think Ford is a great accomplishment for this Lions team, which, you know, Jahmyr Gibbs, seeing if he gets to that 2,000 all purpose.
Yeah,
but the word disrespect is so overused. I mean, in our society, but especially in sports. You're ranked 4th, and you're going to call it disrespect. If this what motivates you, that would trouble me. All right, seriously. I mean, I think athletes. I think stuff like this, they barely even recognize it. Am I wrong here? I think you get motivated by winning and by making money. Period.
Braylon? The second one for sure, but I think it's even deeper than that. I think people do care about this stuff.
Do they?
Because I think nowadays everyone has access to it. So the fans can see what you saw, and if you don't feel the type of way, they're trying to figure out why not. And I think whether it's fair or not, or whether that's what happens. And so athletes feed into this because they know their fan base. Amon-Ra St. Brown's on one of the most successful podcasts that a player does. You don't think he knows what the fans are thinking or what the people see or what the people care about. So I think inadvertently we live in a society where they care because the people that make them money or the people that give them likes, give them clicks, they care.
Yeah.